right, welcome everybody to the 28th episode. Is that right, Chaz? Sorry, Chaz, you were muted. Is that right, Chaz?
That is correct, John. In my unmuted voice.
Oh my gosh, man. I love live streaming.
Live entertainment is pretty interesting.
What is it like when, what's it like being in the room with me when I'm getting this stuff set up?
You know a lot of words that can be descriptive terms.
I like it. I like it. I'll take that. I'll take that. So thanks for coming, Chaz. I'm excited. We're doing DigiByte today.
Yeah.
And my buddy from the steaming pile, Gone Rogue. You spell it G0NR0GUE. He's a very big proponent of DigiByte. And so that's how I kind of got interested in them. So I'm glad we're doing this today. This is going to be a real cool episode. I hope that if you're not watching live, that's fine. We won't, we're delayed because of some server issues with our streaming provider, but we love them and we're glad that they're working with us on the blockchain. So we're a little bit delayed. So if you're not watching live and you're checking it out on VOD, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And please just follow my channel on Vim and stay up to date on when we're going to be doing things. Another person to follow is Pensif, Pennsif. He puts out a weekly broadcasting schedule, and he has graciously included the Steaming Pile and Morning Coins with John and Chaz on that weekly post. So
yeah,
that's
nice.
Yeah, I want to thank him for that. And he does some great shows on MSP Waves Radio. So definitely want to give them a shout out. And they had us on last week, talking about what I do with social broadcasting and the work we do with G1 NBC and what I think is kind of the future of live streaming and how we can hyper localize content and really just create some live streams that anybody can help produce and be a part of.
Amen.
So we got Chaz here today. We have Jakey on his lap.
He went for a snack.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he feels his production work is done and he can just go and take a break right when we're in the middle of the dang show. Okay.
Well, he was here for the failed attempt.
Well, for those of you who are watching live, there's the call-in number right there in our new lower third with our new logo. I hope you guys like it. Master Collective, who's also on Steem, created that for me. And so you see the Zoom call-in number. You can either go to zoom.us or you can call in that number and hit the 468-186-430, and you'll come on right into our room live. You can do that internationally and stateside. So, before we get into any coin talk, though, Chaz, you know what we got to do?
Yes, we got to cover our butts. And that we say is cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options trading involves substantial risk of loss and are not suitable for every investor. The valuation of cryptocurrencies, futures, stocks, and options may fluctuate, and as a result, clients may lose more than their original investment. All investments discussed on this show are for informational purposes only and are not recommendations to buy or sell.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So let me just ask you, so a couple of announcements, and we'll do it again towards the end, is that our intention is to do this episode and to send it out to folks that we know within the DigiByte community. So I want to have Gone Rogue review this episode. I want to have Stephen P. Kendall, and you'll see a slide from him later. And then we have another contact. We reached out to Jared personally to see if we could get him on, but his people kindly let us know that Jared goes to universities and speaks with people about blockchain and things like that. And so we have Josiah, who I'm coordinating with, to come on in November, one Saturday in November, and do kind of a blended Morning Coin / Steaming Pile show for all of us. So I'm looking forward to that, and so we really want your feedback. And like we do with any coin, We really want your feedback, so you can be a part of the show live. If you're watching on VOD, you can get in touch with me on Discord, or you can just add comments into the post, this post on Steem, because as you guys know, comments on Steem count as posts anyway, according to upvotes and things like that. So let's have a conversation in the chat and make that happen. So I have a question for you, Chaz. What were your thoughts on DigiByte? I know you did these slides a while ago.
I think that a very interesting platform. One of the things I saw that they're, they're facilitating, I guess would be the word for it, is content, moving content back and forth.
Really?
So I thought that was interesting. There is a slide on that that sort of goes over their capabilities and use cases.
Good.
So we can look at that.
Good. I like that. So let's go ahead. You want to go ahead and just get into the slides?
Cover the links real quick. Of course, the first one is the DigiByte site that you can go visit and get oodles of information from them. We're going to talk about unspent transactions. So we have a slide on that. I just thought we would put in there some a link to talk about cryptology, or the algorithms that are used, so people can take a look and get a definition on them. But we do have a slide on that, I believe, as well.
Okay.
ASIC is another thing that it's like a definition that I put out there for that, and then where you can buy DigiByte. If you like DigiByte, there's exchanges that cover DigiByte, so you can go there. These last three, of course, are more into the news item things. I read this one article that said crypto is going to explode. It's going to just take off, and that the prices are ready to move. And then the next one was an expert who said crypto is imploding. So it's going to self-destruct.
Here, hold on. I got to roll my eyes.
You should roll your dice. That's what.
Right.
And then my new favorite person to hate, Nouriel Roubini, a so-called expert, and we'll look at how he feels about himself later and what he says, has claimed that cryptocurrency is just a house of cards and it's going to come down, and it's just a matter of time. It can't succeed, and it's not decentralized. He also said that.
I see.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys that would have said, horseless carriages never make it. Flying, if God wanted us to fly, He gave us wings, and the moon's made of cheese. That's him. That's a nutshell there. Wow.
Well, and I saw that you put a slide in there with a quote from him too, so I'll be interested to see that as well.
Yeah, this is.
Is that the next one?
Yeah, it is the next one. It actually is a quote from a paper a report that he wrote to Congress, and this is how he opened it up. And I kid you not, this guy is full of himself and a bunch of other stuff.
There's really a chairman though named Crapo.
Crapo, I think is how you pronounce it. We have a park here in Hollywood. It's called Crapo Park. So.
Okay, all right. Is it named after him?
I think it is. Yes.
Are you being serious?
Crapo,
I'm sorry.
This is the Chairman Crapo, the ranking member Brown. Ranking Member Brown and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today on the topic of cryptocurrencies and blockchain ecosystem. My name is Nouriel Roubini, and I am a professor of economics at the Stern School of Business at New York University. I am an expert of the global economy, international financial markets, assets, credit bubbles and their bust, and the related financial crisis. I was one of the few economists warning about the predicting in advance of the global financial crisis of 2007-2009. And I am one of the leading global scholars on the topic of bubbles and financial crisis. My most recent book, Crisis Economics, A Crash Course in the Future of Finance, is a seminal treatise on the topic of asset bubbles and financial crisis. I have written dozens of papers and other contributions on the topic of bubbles and their bust and the causes and consequences of financial crisis.
So I'm assuming that this goes on to talk about how cryptocurrency is a bubble.
Yes, yes. And I think we discussed last night, we were talking, he thinks that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin are the same thing, and one's just an extension of the other. It's a change. That Bitcoin Cash is a change in Bitcoin.
Right.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about. The
Right.
guy is lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love economics, right? But economics is the same thing as psychology, sociology, or any other soft science. And that's not a bad thing, but that's saying all of those people, just because you have access to big data and global information, doesn't mean that you have any more knowledge than anyone else who does phenomenological or any type of study using interpretive, qualitative data or quantitative data. Your economics still uses variables. It's not Nothing is rock solid in economics, even though they think it might be, because we generally, as people, we have a centralized banking system, so it's easy to predict within that system.
Right. And here we're talking about a guy who's so steeped in the old guard that he can't see past his nose. And so,
And some of those people don't know what's coming. Now, could they be right? That's my question. Could all of this be all this tech boom, this people saying it's the wild wild west, it's kind of like the 90s with with the internet boom and all that kind of stuff. That's the question that everyone wants to know. Now, a lot of people here think, no, this is just the beginning. This is a new way of thinking, designing, and doing tech. And I think this is who people like this is who we're up against in this phase, and it's going to be a long battle.
Yeah, the traditionalists are going to try to hang on as long as they can. And like I've mentioned before, they're on the surface making comments and suggestions that the crypto market and the blockchain is a joke, and in secret they're buying.
Right, that's the key, right? We have to find some people. We have to find people that are actually doing that, because what's happening is, right, these guys are testifying to Congress, right? They're testifying to committees and politicians, and our politicians are used to listening to these people, and so they're not listening to the right people, I would say, when it comes to this space. Like, why would you listen to someone who's just a professor of economics if they don't know anything about the technology and they can't speak to like what these people are trying to do with blending this technology in with economic principles?
Correct. And I think that point is that they, and he calls himself an expert, and I think he's really, it's like I said before, the people who are experts think that they have to say something even if they don't know what they're talking about.
That's true. That's true. Well, so back to DigiByte and Steem and us being here on Morning Coins. There is an expert out there who I think, as a Steemian, is really good for the community, and he's on Twitter as well. His name's Stephen P. Kendall, and we put in a slide for him, and it's just this is his latest post. He posts regularly, trying to get the Steem and DigiByte communities to kind of like talk to each other, buy into each other, and kind of help coordinate and self-promote. I think there's two reasons. One is both communities are actually very large. We put out a tweet earlier about the show, and I'm sorry that if anyone tuned in and they weren't able to find it. But that community is very active on Twitter, the DigiByte community, and the Steem community is very active here. And so he's doing a good job at trying to blend both of them. But it says with a market cap valuation of approximately 275 million, if you had to choose just one, which would you say will bring the most added value to the DigiByte blockchain? And we're going to get through some of that later with the different algorithms and the different features of DigiByte. But we just wanted to include his most recent link. There's a link to all the stuff that we do in our slideshow, and that you'll see is in the description. And with that, you're gonna take it away.
Okay. So the next slide, I thought this was really interesting. Who's investing? This flies right in the face of, Nouriel Roubini. It says, have you invested? This is I believe 1,000. Yeah, it's down the lower right. It's 1,000 Americans were surveyed. Have you invested in a cryptocurrency? 34% has said yes. That's significant.
Yeah.
34% is a lot of people, and I know it's smaller than the rest. It's not a 50% or 60, but here we're looking at 34%, which means we're beginning to get into this acceptance stage where people are going to begin to accept it. Now I know probably the initial investors are looking for a quick buck, but there are those people that are looking at the actual use cases and trying to get long-term value.
Yep.
The second half of that slide, it breaks it down by gender and by age groups, by annual income and by community. And if you look at it by gender, 43% are men that have invested of those 1,000, and 23% are women.
That's cool.
Yeah. And what you would expect, and I would expect to see this too, if you look at it by age group, the millennials are bigger investors, and when you get down to people my age, the baby boomers.
Yeah, that was what stood out for me. Oh, you know what? These slides aren't centered correctly. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I see that, but I don't see that. So apologize, guys. We're doing some live fixing. So if you're watching live or on the replay, then you can make fun of me in the comments. And if you're watching this on video on demand, you can just call me and make fun of me somewhere. All right. Now everyone can see everything. So
Okay.
yeah, that is cool about the millennials. So earlier I could only see Generation X and baby boomers, and then when you said millennials, I'm like, oh, that's not up there, right? Sorry.
Yeah, so I thought these were interesting stats, and
well, they're perfect. They play right into the tech divide.
Right.
Like anytime I've talked with someone from your generation, honestly, you're on the cutting edge, right? I talk to someone from your generation, like, oh, I don't get into all that digital currency stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, guys, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you talk through a couple use cases and you give them some scenarios, and then they go, oh, I see.
Yeah, because they get most of their information from the nightly news, which is not always the best place in the world to get your news from.
I mean, it's a mile wide and an inch deep, right?
Yeah.
They give you surface level, let's go find an expert like Nouriel and do a 30-second sound clip.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
So yeah, you're right. It's not enough depth in it. I thought also interesting was when they break it down by community. Urban people are the big investors, and suburbanites right behind them, and the rural people are the lowest level.
I'll tell you, I like to see that because it draws another parallel to the digital divide.
And I think and I might be drawing a conclusion here that's not correct, but in an urban setting, you tend to get more diversity of interactions between people than you do in a rural setting.
Mm-hmm. You really do. And people have to learn to get along better when you live in an urban setting.
Yes.
Just because, like you said, there's different people and there's more people. And if you want to live in one of our modern cities, you have to deal with diversity.
Yeah, you have to. And so you run into it. So with diversity of interactions, you get diversity of information. And I think that's what's playing out.
Yeah. I mean, there's there's meetups in Cleveland that are sprouting up all over the place around this stuff. And the cool thing is, some people are it's a cryptocurrency one. Some people it's more let's study blockchains. Another one it's let's meet up and talk about a specific coin or project. So,
Right. Yeah. So I think that plays out in those numbers
where'd you
there.
find that slide? That's a good slide.
Oh,
Ah, man, these tough questions I ask you.
I don't remember. I'll look it up for you and I'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we like to put slides in our content and attribute it to no one. These are ours. We'll put it
He
in the
made it up.
slides.
This
Oh,
guy, he made it up.
Jakey, you are so lazy.
He
All
went had
right,
a snack and came back. Hey, there's a self promotion slide coming up. I'm going to let you do that one.
let's do it, guys. So, Steem Blast. Steem Blast. Get Steem on Coinbase. Please. Please get Steem on Coinbase. If you guys click on this picture right here, this goes to a post from the Real Wolf. I'll go ahead and bring it up right now. He's one of our Steem witnesses, and he wrote a column, "Let's get Steem on Coinbase." So this was a Steem Blast kind of campaign that was started a couple days ago, and it was the intention really is easy. It's what are some strategies or what can we do to get Steem listed on Coinbase? And we've always done Coinbase in our work in promoting the show, and so I just figured that I would put a slide on there, reference the Real Wolf. Tim Cliff is the person in charge of Steem Blast. So there you go, guys. There is our part, and you guys can come across these slides. I'll actually take a screen grab of this slide and make a separate post with a link to this portion of the video, or maybe to the whole video, and then choose one of us. These links are in the description. Choose either Chaz or myself. If you're new to crypto and you're just watching the VOD on the G1NBC YouTube channel, or watching it on one of our G1NBC pages, then and you don't really know a whole lot about crypto, but you like either Chaz or myself, then go click one of those links, invest $100 of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin for yourself, and we'll get, whoever you choose will get $10 worth of Bitcoin, and so will you. So you invest 100, you get 110, and one of your favorite show hosts gets the other 10.
Amen.
Amen.
I like that.
Amen. And now, because I went to a link, the PowerPoint's all messed up. So let me exit out of there. You want to go ahead and
Sure.
talk about the
So,
next slide, and I'll get to the next slide.
so we just have a definition here. I thought it would be interesting for people that if they want to know what we see acronyms everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I think we should centralize acronyms, and there should be a office of the government who controls who gets what acronym, because it's getting crazy. But UTXO stands for the unspent output from Bitcoin transactions. Each Bitcoin transaction begins with coins used to balance the ledger. UTXOs are processed continuously and are responsible for beginning and ending each transaction. These UTXOs are still on the ledger, but they were removed from the database. Yeah, it's interesting. So,
and this is an acronym that's standard to DigiByte, right? Like, is that right? Or
I
is
believe it is a DigiByte process. This one happens to refer to Bitcoin.
Oh, okay, okay. Where'd you
But
come
we'll
up?
get to that. We're
Okay,
coming.
gotcha.
Okay, so we got a little video, John. Can you play that for us?
We should be able to.
This is a general look at DigiByte and what it's supposed to do.
Are you ready for the future of paying for things? DigiByte is a new form of currency, similar to dollars, euros, yen, or even Bitcoin, but on the very cutting edge of digital technology and with no central authority. DigiByte is open source, free to use, and anyone can get involved. Want a safer way to pay for stuff? DigiByte's state-of-the-art security makes it 5 times more secure than other digital currencies. It incorporates the same technology that's used to secure nuclear launch codes. So yeah, it's safe. Want to get paid faster? DigiBytes can be sent and received anywhere in the world with an internet connection in a matter of seconds. Wish you could have your computer make money for you? While a dollar might be sent from one person's bank to credit card processor to another person's bank, DigiBytes are sent directly from person to person. But in order to verify that each transaction is legit, it takes computing power. You can exchange the computing power you have for newly made DigiBytes as you help process transactions. Want a super easy way to use your money? DigiByte is helping to speed up and link merchants and consumers across the globe in a cutting-edge manner. DigiBytes can even be sent over social media, helping to connect legacy business models with up-and-coming young consumers like gamers. Want to get started today? Get your own DigiByte wallet for free at digibyte.co.
All right, man. I can see now. I'm starting to see some. I'll be honest. I haven't seen that before.
In my research, I try to find things that will help explain or at
ready
least
for the
set a
future of paying
pace
for
for
Hold on one second. It
DigiByte is a
reset.
new form of currency, similar to
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I just try to find things that will sort of give us a general overview so we got something to go on other than my droning voice.
Well, I like that. I like that you can use processing power to mine DigiByte, and I like the way they're setting up for merchants, and I like the third part where they talked about how it can integrate with social media.
Right.
And so, right, and that's where I'm kind of like, I think that I think Stephen Kendall could be onto something with being able to merge these two communities. My only thing is, will will the powers that be on both chains be able to play nice enough to make something like that happen, or will it need to be some kind of third-party development on both blockchains that runs protocols for interoperability? That's the question. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's hard to get different camps together on things. They have different visions for their projects, but somehow, maybe an interoperability platform may be able to help that.
Yeah, or an interoperability program. It might not even have to be another platform. It could just be, someone writes code for both and figures out a way to blend both of them, where you can trade DigiByte for smart media tokens and vice versa.
Right.
So
I sort of like the decentralized wallet exchange as a way to actually work with the tokens. So, nevertheless, things will be changing. That's one thing we can count on.
And we're looking at the next slide right now. The
DigiByte digital asset. So here's what in a picture what they were trying to describe on the video, and there's your dollars, and there's music and content and videos. So they're working their platform not just as a cryptocurrency, but also as a social currency.
Yeah.
That can be transferred back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a really decent, I think it's a decent security setup to protect against 51% attacks and to keep everybody honest. And we're going to look at that coming up here pretty soon.
Okay.
So I just want to throw that slide in there for just a general support of the video.
So, and it says each unit is finite, secure, and transferable and adaptive. It's a digital byte of data. It says money, documents, messaging, videos, music, photos, IoT data, so Internet of Things data, encryption, identity, notarization, immutability, and authentication as the security layers, and then does smart contract rules and has smart contract rules.
Yeah, it's a broad spectrum blockchain.
Okay.
All the things that are dear to our hearts, right?
Especially mine.
Yes. So the next slide, are you there?
I am.
Okay, DigiByte security. Global decentralization. They have 200,000 plus servers, computers, phones, and nodes worldwide. That's a ton.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're spread out really good. They have 5 mining algorithms, which is different from what we've seen on a lot of the other blockchain platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So they use 5 secure and advanced cryptographic mining algorithms to prevent centralization compared to single algorithm blockchains.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I got when we get to that. There's a graphic slide on
The
that.
5 L's.
Yeah, I just have a question about how they're actually going to prevent people from using, getting together and using one of the algorithms. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's a good question for Josiah and the team when we have them for our episode coming up in November.
Right. Advanced difficulty stability. Difficulty adjustments protect a blockchain from several forms of malicious attacks by creating and implementing DigiShield and Multi-Shield. DigiByte has the most advanced difficulty stability of any blockchain in the world today. Those are big words.
Yeah, it is, right. It kind of loses me, but then it's their words.
Right.
And so that's one of those things where we have to have them come on and be like, tell us a little bit about what this advanced difficulty stability thing means.
Yeah, how do it work?
Yeah. They create and implement DigiShield, Multi-Shield, DigiByte and Multi-Shield. DigiByte has advanced difficulty stability. So
It could be a grouping of all those algorithms, which is in the next slide.
good segue.
Yeah, and so here's a list of the algorithms that they're using. There's 5, and what we'll see later is that they attribute 20% of the mining results to each one of these, making 100%.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then after each one, of course.
Do you know what any of these algorithms are? Did you go and look up each individual one, and you have the?
No, my interest on this slide was how they are actually processed, and I put right behind the algorithm Steem is GPU processing. Qubit can use multiple types of processing, and so if you look at those, there are and Script is a CPU. So there's different avenues or different ways to process each of those.
Right. Right. Okay. Good. I think that's good. I wonder how much longer they're going to do ASIC mining, and maybe some of you guys out there, if you're watching on the VOD or live, just talk to us, because I've heard a couple things about ASIC mining might be on the way out on some blockchains, and so I don't know. And I do like the script. I'm assuming that the CPU or the script or qubit would be the ones that people would use where their PCs, where they're able to leave it on overnight or whatever and mine and things like that.
Right. And my question is, looking out into the future a ways, will mining always be the best avenue for generating blocks? I don't know. Will somebody come up with something better? Because a lot of the mining techniques or a lot of the mining systems that are used are energy intensive and not real efficient.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's going to be a question that all these guys are going to have to cover.
Right. I did see a video online. The guy was saying, I stopped mining, and here's why. And it's because he was using more electricity than he was making money.
Mm-hmm.
His mining was not paying off.
Yep, I believe the current price to mine one is about the price where it's at, like $6,200. And so whenever it dips, like people have to pay more to keep that stuff going. So whenever it
Right.
dips, that's why people get worried because it's like, when are people going to bail and say it's not worth it?
Let's face it, it's a inversion from people who are investing where dipping is good, but it's not good for the miners.
Right. Right.
And you would see that, and that plays out in the physical world as well, right? Gold miners, if you're mining gold and the prices are dropping, it's killing you.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. But then it's interesting, right? Because then when the price was getting real high, the miners were like attaching, there were so many transactions, they were attaching larger fees to approve
Right.
blocks. So there's the inverse happens as well. When it gets to be too busy and the price goes up, then Bitcoin couldn't handle it yet as a network.
Yes, yeah. And
So
I've heard rumors that that's going to change soon, and
yeah, they're
there's
doing, Lightning Network and all that kind of stuff, and
right.
Lightning Network might be competing against your friend XRP.
It's possible.
I got a video I'm gonna send you.
Okay, so
All right.
yeah, always interested, but I think in light of current conditions, I think mining may someday be a thing of the past.
Well, once they're all mined, especially
Right.
Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin's gradually losing its luster.
Does DigiByte have the fastest blocks?
They have fast blocks, and when we see later, we're going to see that they're 15-second blocks right now, but they're going to get faster.
There's that UTXO phrase.
Yep. Any public UTXO blockchain in the world today with 15 seconds. So they're the only ones, they say.
Okay.
And they have early segregated witness implementation. They allow for several innovations to occur on top of DigiByte blockchain, such as cross-chain chain transactions.
Hey, that's important.
Yeah, that's big.
And so are single confirmation transactions.
Yes.
So that definitely adds to the speed.
And one of the things that, dare I say his name again, Rubini, was pointing out was that the hackings that go on and the insecurity of the blockchain is what he was making reference to. But you know what? It happens in the banking industry all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Say,
the banks are hacked all the time.
okay.
So I don't know what he's talking about. If he thinks those are so secure.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, you just don't hear about that as much. And hi, Katie. Thanks for tuning in.
I'll add that. I'll add that paper to the links
Okay.
for other people can read it and maybe comment on it.
Okay.
And then I'll also make sure I'll find the link to those statistical analysis earlier too.
Good.
The last part of that slide is blockchain rigidity. And it says DigiByte transactions, unlike other transactions on other blockchains, are limited in size and scope to increase speed, efficiency, and throughput. And most importantly, this maintains security.
Okay. I'll take them at their word.
Good.
I'm trusting you, DigiByte. Well, so tell me this: who's Jared Tate?
President at DigiPlay LLC and founder of DigiByte.
Founder. His nickname's Digiman.
I'm guessing that that's an accurate statement.
Interesting. Okay. Well, like I said earlier, I reached out to Jared personally. He's very nice. He's on top of his stuff. He will he communicates to you if you're able to get in front of him. And he, like I said, he goes and talks to universities and other leaders, and things like that about his platform and engaging his community. So I appreciate the time that he's taken for that. Um, but yeah, that's Jared Tate, founder of DigiByte, and so I look forward to having their team on so we can dive in further with this stuff because
Yeah,
this
that
is
would be nice.
it's a very interesting platform. Another interesting platform is Mannabase.
Mannabase.
Look at you stacking coins.
I'm stacking them up, and the price is coming back too.
Maybe you just took that screen grab of the price when there was an uptick last week.
No, actually, I did that yesterday.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right.
No, that's cool. So, and those are our sign up links, you guys. Mannabase is a nonprofit blockchain geared towards universal basic income. So I would strike while the iron's hot with this one. Use our direct links to sign yourself up. We get a little bit of a bump, and then you can do the same thing after you go through the KYC process. So check them out. We've had them on in the past. They're very interested in blockchain, and so we like what they're doing and what their thoughts are on universal basic income.
It's putting what do I want to call this? It's putting charity or helping others, taking it out of the municipality, the government domain, and bringing it to the people.
Right, right. And you never know. That amount might not be a lot to us, but if you think about it from a global perspective, and you're able to sign someone up, or you're able to send these to someone somewhere else, and they can trade them on, if they can trade them on an exchange, and turn that into currency from their native country. If you think about it from that scale, it wouldn't take a lot to make a large difference. And when you think about, like you said, taking it out of the hands of municipalities and governments to be the arbiters of who gets help and leaves it to people actually making those relationships and doing that kind of stuff that happens, you can see that platforms like this could be of benefit.
I agree. And so next slide, please.
I'm there.
Acquiring DigiByte. You purchase them on the exchange. Exchanges, most people start with a Polynex and Bittrex, and you'll need to use your fiat currency to purchase Bitcoin first, and then trade Bitcoin for DigiBytes on the above-mentioned exchanges.
Yep, that's the easiest way for right now. I don't know, and that might be another question for the team is, what will there be something in the future where you can do a PayPal or some type of fiat transfer for DigiByte?
I am glad that you asked that question.
Uh-oh.
Because, excusing me for the next blank slide, I was trying to get ahead of the game, but if you spin past that,
boom.
We have an interesting, well, if you look down at the bottom, payment systems, DigiByte is transaction volume is starting to rise.
Oh my God.
They are attempting to catch up with Visa.
They have faster transactions per second than PayPal.
Yes.
Like by 300% or 400%.
Yeah.
Dude, where'd you find that slide?
Now that's off of their website.
Chaz has been oh, okay. Dang it. I wanted it to be third party verified. Scientific technical analysis.
We're going to leave that up to our viewers to verify, because we're not making recommendations to buy or sell.
Oh man, that's cool though. You better not be lying, DigiByte.
And there's a nice comparison between Bitcoin and DigiByte. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but it gives you some kind of background.
Right. I would be interested to see, like, to see the duopoly or the go back and forth between the two communities on how on what's up there.
Well, how about DigiByte versus Dash or some Monero
or Steem? Steem does claim a high transaction volume and the ability to they don't call them payments, but transactions per second.
One thing I did see on, there was a gentleman that I always try to look at a bunch of different videos and articles on the coin we're covering or the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And there are websites out there that will calculate this transaction volume and your mining success, what your mining success rate is. And he says the website that he uses, he doesn't understand how they can do it because they're using 5 different algorithms.
Interesting. Right.
Yeah. And there wasn't a selection, you know, like a drop down. If you're trying to calculate if you can make money doing this, there wasn't a drop down for the algorithm. So he doesn't know how they're calculating.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe that's why we don't see a lot of comparisons, but I think I'd like to see comparisons between other platforms that have digital currency as their mainstay.
Yep. Next up, and it looks like they'll pass, or according to this one, pass Visa by 2020, or match Visa by 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. DigiByte digital asset supply curve.
They did not hold back on this one. Their total supply that they're looking for by 2000, I think, does that say 35?
Yep.
21 billion digibytes.
Woo!
But they are not going to release them all at once. They're going to do a gradual releasing of the coin so that they're not all dumped out. So they're going to do it over a 21-year period and gradually put them into the market, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, it's probably smartest way to go.
Well, you just don't want to flood the market.
Right.
And drive the value of the asset down.
Well, right, and then it just becomes centralized, and there's only a certain number of players, and they set the rules from there on out.
Right.
So
here's a breakdown of their mining algorithms.
Got that up.
And they do talk about multi-shield a little bit.
The advanced version of the original DigiShield, asymmetric difficulty adjustment, now widely implemented in many other blockchains.
So I think this is a good program to protect against concentration or centralization of your platform, because that is becoming a problem for a lot of platforms right now.
Right. I mean, that's the novel feature of this coin so far is the 5Ls and the different ways that it can be mined.
Right.
So that's good, I think.
Are we on the next slide?
Loads of wallets.
Can you open that one up?
Sure.
The reason I didn't put the screenshot there was I would have had to have almost 3 slides to cover all of this.
Makes it easier as soon as we got it up. Okay, we're open.
And so you can see that there's a lot.
Oh, I see. Yeah, how you can have a wallet for any platform that you use.
Yes, any operating system. If you scroll down, there's some other.
And I think they just released a browser wallet or something. Gone Rogue was talking about it on the steaming pile. That there's another one that was just. Oh, the Chrome wallet is there. Chrome extension. Linux. Third-party wallets. That's good, man. That's good. Another good feature.
Valuable information there, and a lot of options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically any kind of device you could think of or operating system you have, these guys can be a part of it.
Yeah, and that's important too because
especially for peer-to-peer.
Yeah, peer-to-peer, but it's important too that you address all the platforms or operating systems and all the different ways people are now interacting with the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Next one.
So here we have our DigiByte.
Our technical analysis.
Technical analysis.
That means we're nearing the end of the show.
It does.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, well, but there'll be another show. So on this one, I added, I did my normal stuff I put in here, but I added one thing, and I added the red line just underneath the candlestick chart there is Bitcoin. And if you look at the right-hand axis, I just want to make sure people are aware that this is by percentages. So what we're seeing is that it looks a lot like Bitcoin's more stable than DigiByte at this point.
I see that. Okay, so especially if we're looking at the April through now.
Yes. One important aspect of this, though, I would think, is the on-balance volume, which has remained fairly high through the last few months. Although the volume is pretty average. But I think that that's just an indication that people are interested in DigiByte. They are buying it.
Okay. Yeah, I think they are. Like I said, it is a very active community. So I'm not surprised by hearing that. Any other kind of comments around the chart or around like what the future might hold for this coin?
I think that the chart's pretty typical of what we're seeing with most of the platforms out there now, the altcoins and Bitcoin. I think that time will tell when these things begin. And let's face it, we're in the formative stages of this industry and this technology. And so what we're going to see is we're going to see very volatile times. And I think I said that one of our first shows. We said things are going to be rocky, and they're going to continue to be rocky for a while.
Yeah.
And we did talk last night about that we're looking for that event or a series of events that drives these values the other direction, whether it be institutional investors or
some type of regulation that is positive for the community as opposed to negative. Because let's be honest, people don't want it. It's still too new. We're all gambling. People don't want it to be like we already have enough regulation that we have to deal with in the United States. And there are platforms they would just as soon not mess with the United States because we're so highly regulated that it's just ridiculous sometimes to even try to operate here.
Right. And a good example of that is I looked at a platform the other day I think it's called EcoRise. And it's a trading platform that gives people increased income. So, but the thing is, it has a KYC that is set by the U.S. government, the Securities and Exchange Commission. You have to have a net worth of $1 million to be involved in their platform.
See what I mean, man? It's like everybody complains that our country is run by the top 1% in our country, and nothing ever changes.
Right.
It's like so dang odd. And then we're gonna sit here and argue with each other about politicians.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Politicians
I'm
are
so
just
glad that
politicians.
We can fly above that here, that mire that everyone else is in. And I think what we're seeing here is an underlying change in the way the world's going to operate.
Well, I agree with you. I'm glad we're on this journey. This is DigiByte, everybody, on Morning Coins with John and Chaz. Next week, we're going to do a Cardano or an ADA update. One of my colleagues from Cleveland Blocks is going to be on. He is he's not a founder of the platform. He's just really a believer in the platform. And so he's actually going to be doing a live review of our latest episode that we did on Cardano and coming on and kind of introducing himself and leading the conversation on stuff we might not know about that coin.
Good, because I think that's a great platform. I'm happy about that.
And then Pensif just reached out to us. I don't know. I think he might have been watching earlier, but he might have some contacts from some exchanges. So maybe we might do an exchange episode coming up.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'd love to cover exchanges.
Yeah. So let's you and I talk about that offline.
Okay.
And then we'll see you guys, I think next Friday, right? Next Friday at 10.
Yes.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, it's good for me.
All right, man. Thanks, Chaz.
You're welcome. Thank you to everyone that's watching.
Yep, Katie, thanks for watching live. If anyone else is watching live, say bye in the chat so we can get that on our going out. And then for those of you watching it on the G1 NBC or Steam VOD, put your comments down below and let's have a conversation. And we'll see you guys next week on the 29th episode of Morning Coins with John the Chaz.
Wow, 29. I can't wait for our 52nd. We got to do something big.
Oh, yes, we will. And we leave you now with Happy Rock.
Happy rock.
From bensounds.com. New music coming next week. Hope you like the new lower third.